Greetings. I am just popping in to make a quick announcement about the types of consultations that I offer because I find when I'm in the middle of a consultation, or sometimes at the beginning, or even sometimes people will reach out via email and they will say which consultation would work best for me, which one would I need. So I'm going to give a little clarity about that tonight. But first and foremost, I am the Apetipi Iolosha Oshunyemi Akalatunde, and this is Got to Be Oshun Television. Got to Be Oshun TV, I think is what I originally called the channel when I started it some years ago. So here we do the work of freeing Black women and femmes from the patterns of mammying and muling, and instead give you the magical tools and the practical tools that you need to turn your love and your energy and your labor back on yourself so that you will have what you need to fulfill your destiny. So, we're going to talk about the different types of consultations that I offer. Specifically, this video is going to be about the which Orisha Rules Your Head consultation and the consultation that is called the Idele on my site. So, the first type of consultation that most people are booking on the site is the Which Orisha Rules Your Head. So for this particular consultation, I use the Marindi Logun system. So the Marindi Logun is an oracle from West Africa, specifically from the Anago people, and in which we use 16 calories to speak to the deities, the Orisha in particular, on your behalf. I have been trained in this oracle, I was trained in this oracle 30 years ago as an initiate, trained by the Matahochi Kofi Omawale Zanu, Ibara Tarun. With this reading, which Orisha Rules Your Head, what we do is we determine the deity, the cosmic force, the force of nature at the forefront of your head, which from our perspective, spiritually, is the deity at the forefront of your personality. Having this information gives you deeper insight into who you are and the reason that you came into the world in this particular lifetime. This will also give you your powers of color, your stone of color, your metal, your colors of power is what I'm trying to say, your stone of power, your metal of power, and the place where your power is concentrated, the place of power where you will go to get a boost of power. This will explain using the Odu, which is our oracle, the areas in life that you may need help in, the reasons that you decided to incarnate in this lifetime, things to avoid if there are any, as well as taboos. Food taboos, color taboos, relationship taboos, if any of those exist for you. This reading gives deeper insight into your destiny. It will give you insight into your character and insight into your personality. At the end of this reading, you will also receive an Anago name or a Yoruba name that is in alignment with your character and that is bestowed upon you by the Orisha that rules your head. You will also have the opportunity to ask any questions that you need to ask of the spirits of the Orisha, or any questions that you need to ask me. So that is the Which Orisha Rules Your Head reading. And that is listed on my site under spiritual consultations and readings. Now, the second most popular reading is what we call in the tradition Idele, the Idele reading, or sometimes it is called Idele Oro. This particular reading was created in Oyotunji village by my godfather, the Metahochi, and the first king of Oyotunji, Oba Osejima Adefumi the first. They created this reading for the purpose of helping diasporic Africans reconnect to our West and Central African roots. What both of them understood, and the rest of the founders of Oyotunji, the founding mothers as well, what they understood was that everybody is not Yoruba. So even though the Yoruba tradition, the Orisha tradition, seems to be one of the most accessible African traditions in the diaspora, all of us do not come from ancient Yoruba land. we come from all over West and Central Africa, with smatterings in North and East Africa as well, and South Africa as well. So they took the time to create Idele Oro to answer the question, where do I come from? Where do my ancestors come from? In the Idele Oro reading, I will determine whether or not you have indigenous North American ancestry, indigenous ancestry from the Turtle Island region, and then I will give you book recommendations and information about your Turtle Island ancestry. Then I will determine what part of West and or Central Africa your ancestors come from, and I will give you book recommendations and historical information about your nation from West and Central Africa. In the diaspora, what is also equally as important is where in the Caribbean was the seasoning island that our ancestors were taken to. So I will also give you the information on the seasoning island that your ancestors were taken to. In addition to that, we will determine whether or not they had any sort of unification with the indigenous people of that Caribbean island or Caribbean area. And I will give you book recommendations and other recommendations to get a deeper understanding of that. Once we have determined where in West and Central Africa you come from, what seasoning island you come from, then we will determine what was one of the final stops for your ancestors. So that may be in North America, in the Turtle Island region, it may be in the Caribbean or in South America or Central America, and for some of us, it may be in Europe. So we'll determine that final stop. And when we determine that final stop, I will then give you book recommendations and research recommendations for Black people and how they practice African traditional religions in that area. So with the reading of the Orisha that Rules Your Head, in addition to the reading of Idele Oro, or where did my ancestors come from in Africa, you will get a complete and total consultation with me on that topic. A consultation with me is always going to include a spiritual foundation, historical foundation, academic information, and tools that you can use for further research. In addition to that, you're always going to have the opportunity to ask questions of the spirits or to ask questions of me if there's anything that I am unclear on. So these readings and consultations are always available from me. Currently, as I said in the video I did earlier, I'm having a 50% off sale. So any reading that you get, you can get that for 50% off currently using the code MOTIME. So just like I did earlier, I will go into the description and into the comments of this video, and I'll put a link to the readings on my website. But I wanted to make sure, because people were emailing me and asking, that you had an understanding of what those two readings were. In the Which Orisha Rules Your Head reading, you will get your name, your first name. In the Where in Africa Do My Ancestors Come From Idele reading, you will get the animal guardian spirit or the icon of your family. And this is what we used in ancient times as our last name. So with these two readings, you will have both your first name and your last name that you can use as you see fit. But I just wanted to come on and give a deeper explanation of those and make sure everybody understood what they were, because as I said, I keep getting questions from the website. All right. Enjoy your evening, guys. I will see you in the next one. Peace.